It is Friday, March 20th, 2026, and with me, as always, is my friend Pete. How you doing, Pete?
Glenn, I'm doing okay. How are you today?
I'm doing great. It's a Friday. It's a Friday afternoon. Playing some music tonight with Kong at Middle East Corner, so I'm fired up. Some of my
Why
friends.
do you tell me these things? It makes me jealous.
I know. I'm sorry. It's
Trying
10
to
o'clock
ruin
at
my
night,
day.
though. There's just no way. I don't even. I can barely make it that late.
That's true.
But I've got two friends and their partners coming in from out of town, so I'm starting to pack and get excited about that. But how's your week been?
It's been pretty good. Been kind of busy.
Yeah.
I've had visitors all week, which is always great, and got a second hospital bed delivered, which is now upstairs in our bedroom, which makes my life a lot less anxiety filled because I can get in and out of it on my own.
Where's the first hospital bed? Is it downstairs?
It's in my dining room.
Got it.
You know, the way the computer is. We've sort of cleared everything out.
Got it. Yeah, I see you're in a new room now.
Yeah, well, no, I'm still in the same room, facing a different direction, rotated
Okay.
90 degrees.
I see.
So I am spending a lot of time in bed, not because I have to, but it's just so much easier to not be sitting upright. And so when I have guests, most of the time I'm just in bed.
Yeah.
And, you know, I can be chatting with them, but I'm sort of lying back a little bit, and I can kind of close my eyes and just keep talking, and I don't have to move my arms around or hold my head up or anything. So it's
like an energy conservation thing.
Yeah, and I don't know, maybe a few people were a little freaked out when they came to visit me and saw me in a bed, but it's no big deal.
Yeah.
So I'm doing okay, and man, the phone has been buzzing, and the email inbox has been filling.
It was a hell of an episode.
I don't know how we're going to beat last week's episode with Mitch.
Yeah.
But boy, was that good. Giving is living, baby. What a hell of a way to think about things.
Yeah. No, and it was just such a good conversation. It was really real. Like, I think we have prided ourselves in this project to, keeping it real and talking about some really difficult topics. And we went straight there. And yeah, he had some really great things to say, things that were making me think, things that were probably making you think. I'm wondering, like, you've had a little bit of time to reflect since our chat with Mitch Albom. Like, are there things that you're thinking about differently? Is there any aspects of you that are changed by that conversation?
Well, it's funny. It's more affirmation than anything. I mean, I don't want to compare myself to Maury other than I feel like he and I have a lot in common in terms of the pragmatism and the rationality.
Yeah, definitely.
That we face the disease with. I'm just keeping, like you're saying, keeping it real. But I got a cold-hearted or whatever, not cold-hearted, but I know where the puck is headed. I've always known where the puck is headed, and you just got to deal with it.
Yeah.
I hadn't thought about why would I take anything from anybody, giving is living aspect of it. Although I just kind of feel that way. I don't want to crawl up in a hole in a corner and, not communicate with people because the situation's so depressing.
Right.
But, I have an enormous amount of love in my life, and the feeling is mutual.
Yeah.
And so I'm blessed.
Yes.
In that way, and grateful, to everybody, to you, to friends, to, Whitley, my caregiver, to, Mitch Albom. I mean, what a great guy.
Yeah.
And so generous with his time and thoughtful and just amazing.
Yeah. Absolutely.
How about you?
I mean, the whole Haitian orphanage thing, I think that maybe I had read something about it, but I hadn't made the connection to Whitley.
Me neither.
And so for that moment to have happened it was kind of like lightning in a bottle for me. I mean, I know it's totally really not related to a lot of what we were talking about. Although at the end, I think he was kind of communicating with her maybe in a way that I can and you can't, right? Which was incredibly special. So I mean that was amazing to me. I think the conversation about Dignitas and like his anecdotes about it, his anecdotes about other folks who had ALS diagnoses and like not let that slow them down from the things they wanted to do. I found inspiring. Yeah, what a guy.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I have gotten several questions where people want to know what exactly Mitch and Whitley talked about. So Whitley and I just sat down a few minutes ago to re-listen to that portion, so I can reveal that conversation in more
really?
detail.
Nice.
Yeah.
I felt like they were talking about neighborhoods. It was kind of like bona fides. Like, oh, do you know this place? Oh, I know that place.
That's pretty good.
Okay.
On your part.
Yeah. Why don't you tell me what this is?
Two things though. I didn't know about the orphanage. I knew that he had adopted a couple of children from
Maybe
Haiti.
that's what I knew. Maybe it was that. Yeah.
What I didn't know was that on Sunday, this past Sunday, before our podcast, he was on 60 Minutes for a whole episode about
in Haiti and his Port-au-Prince. Yeah.
Shame on me for, I guess, I don't know that anybody knew that actually, but wow. So
I found out because I went to his podcast that you linked me to, which is Tuesday People is the name of his podcast. We can maybe link it in the show notes. But, and I'm like, wow, 60 Minutes Haitian orphanage. That feels topical.
Yeah. He, a good point. I wanted to make sure we brought that up. Tuesday People is Mitch's podcast, which I also didn't know that he had. He's got a very amazing episode about Eric Dane, the actor who passed away a few weeks ago. And back in October, he recorded his final words and whatever life lessons or words to live by for his daughters. And Eric Dane makes 4 points and talks about it, and Mitch and his co-hosts, sort of talk about each one.
Yeah.
And it's very moving. May bring you to tears at times.
Yeah.
But
is that something we should talk about in a future episode? Like, would that make sense for this podcast?
Yeah, why not?
That's interesting. I'll definitely go find that.
Anyway, they, as people recall, Mitch said, I mentioned, he mentioned his involvement in Haiti, and so I said, well, I have this caregiver, Whitley, who I don't know that I'd be alive without her. She's just amazing. And he said, was she there? Was she come on screen? She came on, and, they said hello, and, how are you? That kind of exchange. And then he asked her what... I guess he told her what neighborhood the orphanage is in, and talked about where she was from, and they know the landscape pretty well, obviously.
Yeah.
And then you may recall, he spoke for 2 or 3 minutes, sort of uninterrupted, where he was thanking her for all the care that she provides for me, and the nice things that I had said about her. Prior to her coming over, and just acknowledging what a terrific role she plays.
Yes, what a blessing she is. For you and your family.
Yeah, and that was kind of the gist of it.
Yeah,
and I mean, will have to watch the playback on the video, I suppose. I'm pretty sure my jaw bounced off the floor when he started speaking Creole. The other thing she said to him is that he goes down to the orphanage on a monthly basis.
Yeah.
To visit the orphanage and be involved. So,
well, I was listening to the Tuesday People episode about 60 Minutes, and they can't fly to Port-au-Prince, so you fly somewhere else and then helicopter. So it's not like you just fly there and drive.
Yeah,
like
I don't think there's any direct flights from Logan to, or he lives in Detroit, but to Port-au-Prince. Yeah, I haven't listened to that episode. I listened to the Eric Dane episode. So if you listen to the to the Haiti one, learn a lot about it. But the other thing that they talked about was his monthly visits.
Yeah,
It's
that's
pretty
that,
incredible.
and that's a commitment, right? That is, it's not, just a bullet in your biography. Like
Yeah, or
that's like
let
part
me
of your
make a big
identity.
donation kind of
Yeah.
thing. And
Hmm.
it's obviously the money helps, but it's a good reminder for those philanthropically inclined. You can help with money, and you can help with getting your hands dirty. And boy, if you can help with both, there's some amazing power to that. You think about the lives that he's impacted.
Giving is
You know,
living, right?
yeah.
He's demonstrating that in
It
how
was
he's.
also interesting to me as he said, I spent the first half of my life, striving and wanting to, I can't remember how he phrased it, but
Yeah,
sort of selfishly focused on his achievements, and that really after the experience with Maury,
yeah,
he's changed his outlook on things, which was just interesting commentary, self commentary,
yeah,
and revealing and being open, and that's part of what we're about, sort of just being honest and vulnerable. And I thought it was pretty neat that a guy of his stature was, we didn't even know each other, right? I mean,
yeah.
we never talked to him or anything.
Just a natural fit for
Just a natural
exactly what
fit.
we're about. Yeah,
So I'm still, processing it, but boy, it was just incredible.
I'm super proud that he came. Like we just got lucky with that serendipitous sort of friend of a friend connection.
Yeah,
I know it wasn't just luck. There was some hustle in there.
I got a shout out to my cousin Alice again, who bird dogged that situation with relentless enthusiasm.
Yeah.
So
Way to go, Alice.
Yeah, way to go, Alice.
We appreciate you. I'd like to talk about, I don't know, there's lots of things, but none of them on the top of my head.
I guess I have finally gotten to the point where we've decided to add, a significant level of help to the household.
Yeah,
In terms
tell me
of
more.
having an aide. So I'm basically going to have coverage from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. 7 days a week. Which is maybe more than I need, but if nothing else, it gives Lynn a little more ability. Not that we're not going to be together and hanging out, but she's not going to have to worry about my caretaking needs.
Right. Right.
Which are growing
Sure.
by the day.
Sure.
So that's a change, and actually it starts today. So at 4:00, Carlene, whom I met yesterday, will be showing up, and we're off to the races.
Excellent. Well, good luck. Good
Yeah.
luck to you, and good luck to Carlene. So help me understand a little bit more. So at 4:00 she's coming in, and then what is it getting acquainted? Is it like what?
No, she came yesterday, and Woodley gave her sort of the lowdown of
Okay.
how we do things.
So it's going to be like kind of more coverage similarly to what we
yeah, totally the same.
Okay. All right.
And
that'll give you a little bit of backup because I was she's going to go on maternity leave at some point in the not too distant future, and
Yeah.
so we're going to need some backup plans then.
Yeah, for sure. But I can't brush my teeth anymore.
Right.
If I don't shower during the day, I'll shower at night, and I'll have somebody that can do that because I can't bathe myself.
Right.
I can't clothe myself. So getting ready for bed, getting tucked into bed, teeth brushing, all that stuff is, it takes a little time.
Yeah, absolutely. It takes another family member or a friend to be
and
there.
there's no, okay, let's go to bed. You go up, brush your teeth, and you're in bed in 5 minutes. It's, with me, it's like I'm like a sloth.
Yeah.
Things move very slowly.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's just makes me feel safe.
Yeah.
Among other things.
Yeah.
So that's good.
Good.
And just was thrilled with the feedback, thrilled with the the impact, I guess, that this week's pod had.
Yeah.
I guess it was last week's pod when people were listening to this.
Yeah.
And I think I'm going to see if I can get myself out for a little walk.
Heck yeah.
Although maybe it's 50 degrees. I think I can handle that.
I think you can. Get Moose out there sniffing. 55 says my phone.
Yeah. So maybe we'll keep it short today and just let the Mitch podcast sort of carry us through a little bit, and we'll come back with some fresh topics next week. And I said it's going to be a tough act to follow to one of my friends who texted me, and he said, "Well, you could always just hang it up and declare victory on the podcast." And I said, "This podcast isn't over until I'm over or I can't speak anymore.
Yeah.
We're going strong, and we're going to keep that happening."
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm here for that, Pete.
All right, Glenn, as always, I appreciate everything from you and love you, and hope for, not hope, you're going to have a fun time tonight playing music. I'll be thinking of you. And
I wish you could be there. I love you too, and have a lovely weekend. And
all right,
we'll speak next week. All right, bye.
Yeah.
Later.
See ya.
Thanks for listening to this episode of For Pete's Sake. If you'd like to get in touch with Pete and me, you can email us at 2224peter@gmail.com, or you can call us. Leave us a voicemail at 508-261-5333. And look, if you don't want us to use your voicemail on the podcast, just say so. And it may be a while. If you do want to be in the podcast, it may be a while because we haven't been getting very many voicemails. So it's a little bit of a call to action for y'all. Thanks again.